Hey everyone, welcome back to Logic Bombs. I started row 8 and then the recording got corrupted, but I didn't solve any levels in that time. So we'll jump into the next unstarted level and go from there. Okay, we have 4 slimes. We have how many monsters is that? Who knows? And we have 4 bombs. So each slime is going to correspond to one of these bombs based on the slime zoning rules established in the game. Do we have any other potential leads to go off of? Well, we what do we know? If this guy can only get one of these monsters, then that's viable. Is this viable? Yeah, there's enough leftover space to put like 3 walls. Are there any spots that are obviously non-viable? This 3 cannot get all 3 of these monsters because if he does, then there's not enough leftover space to put 4 walls. Therefore, he's going to at least get this guy. This guy is accounted for. What else? Are there any other monsters that only a certain bomb can get? Hmm. Looking around, 3, you can get all those without issue. You can get him without issue. You can get any of these, I think, without issue. Same goes there. You can get both of those, and you can get him without issue. Great. Let's look elsewhere then. Okay, we know that there's 9 walls here, which means that either that guy or this guy can be empty, but not both. Is there any way to have both of these and still solve everything? Yeah, pretty handily. So we don't even know for sure that each of these are going to be like empty. We could have basically any of these spots open over here. Oh, but here's something. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, if there's only one opening, then that means this slime, or one of these slimes, only one of them can extend into the upper area, which they have to. Only one of these slimes can be related to this bomb there. We can't have both slimes connect and go through the same opening because then they would touch each other's path. Therefore, we know that one of these slimes is connected to this bomb here and is entirely like blocked off like that. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Because we can't have this one attack like this, because then that would block off this monster from ever getting hit. Therefore, we have to have that, and we know this slime is going to touch this bomb in that context. So there's a wall there. Um, Walls here. I mean, just a wall all through here because we can't have this slime go up like that. This slime is not going to go like there. No matter which way the slime goes, there has to be a wall there. Yeah, this slime is looking like this pretty much. Wall and wall and wall. And we'll figure out the rest of this a little later. But that is all basically confirmed right there. Okay. Moving on to the rest of this particular section. Any other obvious slime connections to certain bombs? I mean, I feel like this guy is probably going to connect to this 3 here. No guarantees, of course, but that just feels right to me. Hmm. You can get both of those without issue. We can block it off like that. Yeah. Could you get both of these? Yeah, that's not a problem. Oh, here's something. We know that the one wall in here has to be somewhere between these 2 bombs to stop them from touching, right? If we put the wall over here, then they'll touch like this, which is against the rules. Each slime has to be its own total, like they can't touch at all. So we know the wall is somewhere in there. Hmm. Does that tell us anything important? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, interesting. Okay, we know that there's going to be 3 more blocks somewhere in this particular column. We can't have all 3 blocks be there because then this slime will only, or this bomb will only be able to touch or explode 2 monsters. So this one at least has to be open, which means that's blocked off there, and that solves that entire row for us. This row is solved as well. Wow, great. Okay. Um, that means the only bomb that can get this monster now is that one, and we have to block things off like that. Because again, we can't have the bombs touching because each slime corresponds to exactly one bomb in this particular puzzle. Okay, looking at the next step here. Do we have any idea? Okay, well this slime has to correspond to either this guy down here or this guy over here. Not both, of course. This slime has to correspond. I think it's too early to make the judgments, actually. I'll hold off doing that for a moment. What else can we or should we know? This row's not solved. This row's not close to being solved. Though there is a wall there because this bomb can't hit that monster. That's a good thing to know. A good piece of progress. There's only one more wall in this section here. There's only one more air anywhere in here. No. 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 Oh, what do I do with all this? Okay. We know that these guys can't touch. Not that they'll be able to anyway, but like in spirit, know that these two groups can't really. Oh, there's a wall here because this group and this group can't touch. That's open. This slime corresponds to this group here. There's a wall there, goes down, wall there, goes down, wall there, goes down, and so on until we get to there. That's all open. This slime corresponds to this group. Has to, basically. There's a wall there, so there's a wall here. Goes up, another wall goes up, another wall, exact same logic. And we end up with that. Perfect! That wasn't so bad. Let's move on to the next level. Question mark blocks, or bombs. And 23, 26, so... Oh, but there's question marks in both of these particular spots. We know those are walls already. No question about it. We know those are walls already as well. So then what else do we know? We know that has to be open, that has to be open. Just so the slimes can get out. If each slime has to correspond to one monster, which is a basic rule of the game, each slime has to touch at least one monster, then okay, then we know there has to be blocks between these monsters because we can't have, for example, this slime get here and then touch this one, because then which monster will this slime touch without also touching a group that this other slime is a part of? Therefore, there have to be blocks between those, which then opens up all of this. Which means you have to go out that way, so you're blocked like that. You go exact same logic here. We can't have that to be open because then they touch, so there's a wall there, and then that solves that row. And we'll figure out the rest later. Well, not later, but we'll have the tools to figure it out later. Meanwhile, we know this slime has to correspond to this guy because there's no way this slime can get in there and touch this guy without first touching this slime's whole apparatus. So, because this slime is going to correspond to this guy or this guy, probably this guy, either way, this slime can't touch this monster. There's a wall there for that exact reason. Same here. this slime can't correspond to this particular monster. So we put walls there to block it off. Like that. What else do we or can we know? Well, if that's the case, then these bombs have to get those particular monsters. And then there's walls there to stop them from touching each other, which would then create one big monster group, which breaks the whole, like, slime thing. Now this slime is touching this monster for sure. Any other grand revelations? I'm looking at this one row here. How do we stop? If we put the wall here, this whole thing gets exposed, and what do we do? Oh. If we put this here, this slime can't touch this monster, which is bad. It would have to go out this way, which would make it touch this slime no matter what. Therefore, it's connected there. With that, because we know this is part of this slime group, and this over here is part of this slime group, has to be, right? Yeah, that has to be like that. I guess it doesn't have to be like that, actually. This could be a wall. Never mind. There's no reason we can't have, like, our friends here touching. That's a lie. This bomb has to hit this monster. This bomb has to hit that monster. That is just confirmed. There's no other bomb that can hit that particular monster at this moment. Okay, so we know this slime is that group. Therefore, we can't put a wall there. Oh, no, we could actually. Never mind. I was on a chain of logic that collapsed as it left the station. Anyways, I'm looking at all of this. We can't have... Are there any other, like, obvious bomb rules? There's going to be 2 walls somewhere in here. But what those walls actually entail, not sure yet. How do we get this guy to touch our friend, the monster, down here? Well, there has to be a wall there, which forces that wall and wall, that wall and wall to keep these groups distinct. So now he's touching that without issue. There's one more wall somewhere in here, but we don't know quite yet where it's going to be. What else ought we to know? Three, 2. Any other solved rows? These question mark rows are really being a nuisance. Oh, the question mark rows. Right. Okay. We know that with this row completed, there's 1, 2, 3. And with this row completed, there's at most 5 more blocks. 3 plus 5 is 8. 26 plus 8 is 34. So we need to get to at least 33, maybe 34 with this 23 here. So, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. We can pretty easily get to 33 or 34. Okay. No major revelation there then. I mean, thinking about it, I don't think this could be a wall, because if we connect up these groups like this, then that forces us to put those guys there, which then will connect this group up with this group up here. Yeah, that's not going to work. Therefore, that has to be open air, which doesn't really tell us all that much, but it's still something. Is the same thing true here? Yeah, the exact same thing is true there. That has to be open air as well, because of the same chain of logic. If we put We put these here. What are the grander consequences? Oh, that means this slime group is connected to this guy here, which forces us to put at least one wall there and one wall here. Empty. That's all walls. Ooh, I feel like I might be screwing this up now, but we'll see. Wall. Wall. And then what? Oh, well, there has to be a wall there, so that means one of these has to be a wall. I don't think it particularly matters which. Or maybe it does. It does! Great! Okay, let's move on to the next one. I felt like I, not lucked my way, there was logic there, but I wasn't super enthusiastic about what I was reasoning there, and I'm glad it worked out. X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Each of them has to be a distinct different number. Let's just do some fast math. What is 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5? 5 plus 4, 9, plus 3 is 12, plus 2 is 1, or not 2 plus 2. Plus 2 is 14. That's not going to work. But I think 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 6 is going to work. 6 plus 5, 11, plus 4 is 15, plus 2, 6 plus 5 plus 4. Ooh, I don't think it's going to be just linear numbers. I think it's going to be some other weird combination of numbers thereof. Either way, let's see if we can't figure out any easy bomb placements here. Are there any monsters which only a certain bomb can get? Yes. This monster can only be gotten by this particular A. The same is not true for here for this monster. It can be gotten by C or B. In fact, that's the only monster that C can get. So if C is non-zero, then... Oh, it's 3Z! I hadn't noticed that. Interesting. Interesting, and Z has to be at least 1. Because each of these monsters only Z can get. Huh. Okay. We had all this figured out. How many walls wrong? 3 plus walls wrong. Aw, man, where'd I screw up? What? Okay. Y gets 3, X gets 5, A gets 4, B gets 2. I think the numbers make enough sense. Right? Oh, I'll have to redo that one. Shoot. Okay, I guess we'll have to... I'm going to reset this one and try it again later. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, lots of interesting things going on here. The wall has to be somewhere in there because otherwise this bomb, if we put it like here, for example, we'll get that slime. So all this is open. There's a wall somewhere in there. Something... Is anything similar true along here? I don't think so. What is like the gimmick of this one? Two logic bomb. What if we do that? Because no bomb is entitled to hit any given monster. Also, we know one of these has to be open, just to make sure that this guy can get out. We can't have like that blocked in like that. Not relevant at the moment, but good to know nonetheless. From when we do eventually find like, ooh, that's blocked, or like, ooh, that's blocked. You know. If we do this, that forces this to be blocked off like that. Which then forces this to be like that. which then forces that to be a wall there, which then forces that to be open. Yeah, okay. I don't see a problem with that. What if we block this off? Then that has to be open, which then forces that to be blocked off, which then forces that to be open, which then forces that to be blocked off, which then would force those guys to get those particular monsters. I don't see a problem with that. Let's do the inverse down this way. If we put a wall there, yep, they're going to get those guys, no issue. If we do that, also no issue. Oh, that is an issue. This bomb, I should have seen this way earlier. This slime will be hit by this bomb if we don't put a wall there. Therefore, this bomb has to get that monster, and this bomb has to get that monster. Wow, okay, that's progress. What else does or can that reveal about this puzzle? I mean, okay. I don't think that tells us all that much more that we didn't already know, unfortunately. I'm looking at the slime though. I get the impression that there'll be a wall here because we gotta stop this slime from touching this group if this guy like touches this guy down here, you know? Okay, let's just keep looking around. Does this have any impact on that particular decision? I don't think so. Let's say we do this though, and that's all entirely revealed. Then that would be this, would be this, would be this. I don't see any particular harms in any of... Oh, it's the exact same thing over here. This has to be a wall because otherwise this slime will be hit by this bomb. Forcing that, forcing that, forcing that, forcing that. Okay, great. A nice little thing to work out. Okay. What about that? That looks fine to me. That also looks fine to me. Blocked off. Okay, no big problems there. I'm now wondering about these slimes because I feel like we're starting to get enough information to really piece together a lot of stuff about these slimes and what is or isn't feasible around them. Let's say we allow this guy to connect like this, right? Then that's a wall, this is exposed, and he connects with this whole group here. This monster is hit by this slime, and this monster is hit... No, there's no way to... Yeah, if we let this guy connect, then there is no way for these monsters to not be part of this huge group in the middle. The same is true here. If he connects like this, then this huge group in the middle will wait, no, that's solved. Will all be... Yeah, because this group already touches a ton of these monsters. If we connect like this, I think we have to block this guy off entirely. We have to block him off there and here from touching this larger group. Yeah, something like this. I'm going to go ahead and move forward with this for the time being, because I don't see any other way to really feasibly do this. I think those groups have to be blocked off, or else there's no way for these groups to remain distinct. Oh, but then who do you... Oh, I see. You're going to connect to this group in the middle, and you're going to connect to this group over here. But how do we do that independently? How do we do that so that you're not... Oh, did I screw up somewhere? Because literally, how do we... Okay, we can do this. Then we can have you connect here. And if we block off them touching like this, I think we'll be okay. If this guy takes ownership of this area in the middle, and this guy takes ownership of these guys over here, then I think we're good. Block off. Block off. Great, okay. Just looking around. For other spaces with which we can block off. Oh, block off there. Block off there. Then what? Oh, we need to block there. That's all exposed. Also need to do this. Nice. Okay. I feel like I'm stumbling towards the answer this time. I don't feel all that confident in my conclusions here, but I feel good enough that we're going to try this. And literally the worst thing that happens is we try again. There's no shame in doing so. If we put the wall there, they connect, which is no good, therefore that's open air. There's a block there for that reason. This is all exposed. If we put the block here, they'll touch, so that has to be open air, which forces that to be where the block goes. Anything else that's worth examining? Oh, that's open there. That forces that to be blocked off like that. That's all exposed. What does that mean for us next? I do not know. You can't touch like that. There has to be a wall there. Therefore, there's a wall there. There's a wall there to stop that bomb from hitting that slime. We can't have this blocked off there. This has to be able to get out so the slime can touch him. Therefore, that's open air. What else do we or ought we or can we know? If we put the wall here, they'll touch like this, which does not work. Therefore, that's open air. That's a wall there. That's all exposed like that. Therefore, there's a wall there. We put the wall here. They touch. No good. That's open air. There's a wall there. That's all exposed. There's a wall there. That's all exposed. Wall exposed. Huge. I can't believe I got through that one. That one seemed really ominous and difficult. Ooh, okay. That's a huge dopamine hit getting through that particular puzzle. Let's move on to the last one of the row. Use outer numbers to play a bonus puzzle. Oh. Okay, so there's another solution here. Fun. I'm going to ignore it. I want to validate this. I want to get through it and validate this puzzle instead. There's two slimes. Great. Are there any monsters that only a particular slime can, or a particular bomb can hit? I don't see any, but we know that this too can't get that particular monster because if we do, there's not enough room left over for the extra blocks. Therefore, hit like that. There's a wall there. There's going to be one wall somewhere in here too. And we know you have to get him instead for that reason. This 2 is guaranteed to get at least this guy. And then either this one or that one. The same is true here. This 2 is going to get that monster or that monster. Meanwhile, could you get this guy? You could not get this guy, because if you do, there's not enough room left over for 2 extra blocks. Like that. Therefore, there's a wall there. There's going to be a wall somewhere in here to stop these 2 bombs from colliding. Therefore, that's open, which forces... We don't know yet, actually. This could be a wall here. We just don't know. We are so close to solving this row. We just need one more airspace, and we have that row solved. Any other major... Oh, same is true here. We're only one away from solving this particular row. Can you get him? You can get him. And you can get him too. Okay. No major revelations there. Oh, you're a wall there, so all of this is open. That's a solved row. Therefore, the only monster you can get is that guy now. Has to be a wall there. What's next? If we put... We can't have this guy hit that guy or hit this guy, because if he does, there's not enough room left over for 4 walls. Therefore, you have to get that guy. There's walls there instead. Wow, okay. Forcing you to get him. Walls there. Forcing 1 wall somewhere in here to stop this bomb from hitting that guy. You have to get him, because if you get him, there's not enough room left over for the for these 2 walls here. And then what? You go there. And then what? Oh. We gotta figure out these slime rules. Well, this slime is touching this big group no matter what. And this is a big part of this big group. Therefore, a wall goes there to stop those 2 groups from colliding. We, in general, need to stop the groups from colliding. We do there, for example, to stop this from touching that, which is going to be a part of this group up here. Can't be there, because then they'll touch. So this is open. What else can we or ought we to know? Oh, you have to get that guy. Should have known that a hot second ago. Boom. What else do we know about this particular column? Nothing. How about down here? Nothing. No. No. Okay, our solution's going to lie somewhere in this top section then, I think. What are we looking at? Oh, wait, how close are we to solving this row? Not that close. Let's make sure I'm on the right track. Fewer than 3 incorrect. Great, we are on the right track. Always a nice thing to confirm, always a nice thing to know. Well, it's either this or that Wait, looking at this. Is there any way for this to be open? If we have that, then like that, then it goes up like that. Okay, that's actually pretty valid. Okay. False alarm. Oops. But how about other zone creation methods. Are there any other ways to make sure that the zones do not collide as they are known to do? We touch this, that goes there. Do that, that goes there. Okay. No major concerns, I guess, about those. Why am I struggling so much with this one particular thing? There's got to be some... Oh, well, we can't have... Oh, never mind. Found it. We can't have 2 blocks here, because then the slime is trapped in. Therefore, 2 blocks go there, and only 1 block is here somewhere. Does that get us closer to solving all of this? Not particularly, but I'm sure there's more we can figure out with this particular part of it. If we put the block here, that has to be exposed like that. And then like that. Does that cause any problems? No. I don't think so. 5. Oh, we can't block this off because then this whole little section gets cut off. Therefore, that's open air, and both of those are walls. Then, has to be open there too, forcing all of those to be walls. 100% guaranteed. Then, 3... Where's the next step of this puzzle? Oh, you're open, which is good to know, I guess. Oh, that solves that column for us. Great. That has to be open, which puts those there, which then puts one there, and one there. Huge! Great. Okay, let's jump back into these prior puzzles. I have gotten 0 progress here. Great. Well, X is going to be at least 7. Awesome. Z literally has to be 0. There is no way for Z to be more... No, Z could get this guy. We could do like one of these, one of these, one of these. There's no way for Z to be 2. Z has to be 1 or 0. But there is just as likely a way to get all of this, for example, right? We don't necessarily have to have... Okay, if this is blocked off, and Y doesn't get those guys, what do we do here? Okay, that's not a problem. Okay, so we can't really deduce what Z is or could be from that alone. 1 slime, great. Z being 0, will that cause any problems? Let's say Z is in fact 0. What does that entail? That entails all of this, which would then have to be like that, because Y couldn't double hit that bomb, forcing Y to get those guys, and then could we do Y is equal to 3 in every part where it matters? Oh, would that allow X to be equal to 7? Yes. And yes. Could Y be equal to 3 without issue? Yeah. That all seems perfectly legal to me. How about Z equals 1? If Z equals 1, then we've gotta... Oh, okay, here's something. Let's say Z equals 1. We could theoretically do that and then block off each of these guys at the base. Put like 2 there and like 1 here, right? We couldn't, for example, do Z equals 1 and then have all of these guys go like this and then have that. Because that's how it has to be. It either has to be this, because then the problem is if Z equals 1 and we do that. Oh wait, no, that's actually totally fine. Yeah. Are there any just obvious, like, number things going on here, things I should have already noticed about the numbers. Okay, let's say we put those there. Then z would have to be equal to 0. What's wrong with z being equal to 0? I think I've already looked at this, but if z is 0, we have this, we have this, we have that, we have this. Y is equal to 3. What is the stopping point for this particular puzzle? There has to be a wall there. There has to be a wall there. X is what? 7? Great. Okay. Let me quickly retry this one more time. Just go through the chain of logic. That has to be that. Z is equal to 0. Therefore, you get all of these, and you get these. Why can't Y just get... Oh no, Y can't get both because it will be equal to X. And if Z is equal to 0, then Y has to get these guys, and Y can't get both, so the question marks have to get these guys. Which then leaves us with Z equals 0, Z equals 0, Z equals 0, and Z equals 0, a classic. Then wall there. Actually, no, we have this solved and this solved for us. And with those solved, we also have those solved. We also have that one solved. That's all exposed. Therefore, that's also solved. What else do we or ought we know? We now know that that's our 7. We then know what do we know? U. We know U2. You're solved. Wait, no, not necessarily. We don't know about that yet. What we do know is that that's all open. We know you're solved like this. We know you're solved like that. Okay, I just screwed up somewhere else. There was just some other piece of it I managed to misplace along the way. Okay, we're looking at a bajillion different bombs here. What? Nothing just jumps out as like an obvious, like, oh, this has to be that kind of thing. What is the... I've been looking at this one for a while, and something occurred to me. Basically, the X's and the Y's and all the variables, right? They're all, like, basically symmetrical. You have your B and your Y like that. Like, there's a lot of symmetry here. The one... by default, non-symmetrical element is the slime here. There's only one slime, so therefore the slime's interactions with symmetry are going to be weird. I realized we can't have both Y and A. Okay, so if A and Y both get all of their guys here, that forces the blocks to be like this, which then blocks the slime in, which we can't have. Therefore, one of these at least has to be open, which forces A or Y to be at most 2. We know for a fact that at least one of those, A or Y, is at most 2. Why is that relevant? In the middle here, A and Y are together. So let's say, for example, we do this. A and Y get those 2. Then B and X both have to get one of these middle sections here. We know that, how else could we do this, for example? I think no matter how you slice it, it's going to be, oh, that's a lie. We could have this happening, where we have our good friend y do this and like x do that, and then b is equal to 0. But b, are there any of these that are able to be equal to 0 actually? That's a good question. B can't be equal to 0 because then who gets that monster? Y can't be equal to 0 because who gets that monster? A can be equal to 0 because X can get that monster totally fine. Y can get him, X can get him, and then these are all double ups in the middle. And then, what else? X. X cannot be equal to 0. Wait, so the only variable that is able to be equal to 0... Yeah, Y can't be it. Is A. That's the only one able to be equal to 0. I'm pretty sure that means it has to be equal to 0. Because I think one of these guys is going to end up being forced to be equal to 0 no matter what. And if A is forced to be equal to 0, not forced to, let's go ahead and work around that right now. Let's just start making some magic happen with A being forced to be equal to 0. There's a wall somewhere in there. That's open. No. Yeah, it's a little bit of a jump saying A has to be 0. But actually, let's think about it. Let's do some maths here. Let's say there's 3, 2, and 1. X is equal to 3. X times 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 3 is 5. That's 15. And then B times 2 is equal to 1. That's not going to quite work. But I think it will. 9 plus 3 plus 4. Yeah. I think the only way to get 16 with these numbers is, at least a very, very obvious one to me, is X. One of these is equal to 3, so that's 9. Then let's say Y is equal to 1, that's 3 more, 12. And then B is equal to 2, that's 4, 7, that's 4. 4 plus 3 plus 9 is equal to 16. I'm very confident A is going to be equal to 0. Very confident. Which then means there has to be a wall there and there somewhere, right? Great. That should begin to give us meaningful progress towards our goals. So if A has to be 0, then X has to get that guy. Just unequivocally, X, you're getting him. What else are our fellow bombs forced to do in that particular situation? Y or X has to get this middle one. Just one of them has to. Which means we can't have... There's only one wall left in this particular column. That means... Sorry. There's only one error in this particular column. If one of them has to go through like that to get him, then both of these have to be walls to make... Yeah, they have to be walls. Can X be 1? If X is 1, that blocks it off like that. B would have to get him. And B would also have to get him, making B equal to 3. That seems feasible. That seems acceptable. But let's leave that open to discussion for now. Oh, Y will have to get this guy over here. Just unequivocally. Wait. Let's say Y gets those guys. Then Y would also have to get... Oh, Y is equal to 3 in that case. No, Y can't be equal to 3 because... Oh, I guess Y could do this, and then we do like this, and then... Oh no, Y can't be equal to 3. Y has to be equal to... I think Y has to be equal to 1. If that's the case, then X has to get all of these. which is actually feasible, I think. Then y gets that. There's a wall there. Then b is equal to 2, so he has to get those particular guys. X is 3, so has to get those, and y is 1. That all seems wonderfully correct, actually. Let's go ahead and see if that's our solution. It's looking good so far. The no. Oh, that was just a solved column. Oops. This one's solved? Almost. I feel like we'll get to slime rules soon, where we have to use the slime's pathing to figure out things. You're blocked off there. You're all exposed there. What else do we or ought we to know? Oh, come on. I'm so close. Let me have this. Let me have this. Okay, where am I flopping? Where's my failure line? Oh, fewer than 3 incorrect. Okay, I think we're on the right track then. Great. That's really nice, actually. Should we return to this? Is there any way to block that guy off? No, not really. Oh, wait, no, you have to... Yeah, okay, we can't have the bomb hit the slime. Right. So that's something. We also can't have the slime be blocked in this little section here by putting the wall here, so that's open for sure. We then can't have both of the walls here to block him in again. It wouldn't block him in, actually. But we need a wall there anyway to make sure that this bomb doesn't hit that monster, which exposes it like that. Which then... What does that entail? Uh-oh. We can't have both of them there because that would block our slime friend off from going down below. Is there... There's got to be something I'm just missing that's like staring me in the face somewhere. Okay, let's look at bombs. Make sure there's no bombs that are... Oh, that has to be blocked off from the A hitting him. Gotcha. Then we can't have it there. Can we have it here? Yeah, that's not really a problem. Also not really a problem. I don't think any of those are problems. One more around here somewhere. Yeah, what is the next, is there any other bomb stuff going on? Only the B and the X, which are both already basically accounted for. Oh, we can't block off this little section here, so that has to be open right there. We can't block... Are there any other little sections that might get blocked off if we're not careful? I don't think so. Oh, you're solved. Which gets us closer to solving that particular row, or that particular column. if you're the open spot and both of those get filled, this section is entirely blocked off. Yeah. Therefore, you have to be a block, certainly, and one of these two is open. Actually, that's not true. Wait. What is the connecting piece between this slime section and the rest of it? We go down here, we go down here. We have to connect through here. So you can't be blocked. That'd be disastrous. All this is open. You're open. Great. Okay. Then how do we get you connected to everyone else? You have to go up through here. You have to be open to make sure that happens. We go up through here. You have to be open to make sure that happens. Oh, actually, that's not necessarily true like that. We can't have that, right? We can't have that specifically. So, like this, that's open. That has to be open. Those are blocked off. Okay, I was right, but I didn't have a reason to know I was yet. Great, perfect. Excellent. Next up, this guy. Oh, what is this? I forgot about this huge puzzle. 82 here and 82 here. With one question mark block here. Gotcha. There's one question mark there. Some number is blocked off up to 15. We're looking at we need to fill up to 97 spaces and 15 with these question mark blocks alone over here. Okay, got it. That'll be relevant like way further down the line. Okay, well we know there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 question mark blocks between all these different columns because, like, you have to block them off somehow from hitting each other. What's up with this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're one away from solving this particular row, or this particular column. Why does that matter? That feels like a very obvious weak point in this puzzle, a very obvious thing that we can work out, and then from there explore further. All these groups of monsters are just by default already connected too. We don't need to worry about connecting all the monsters. They're already all connected. Oh, here's something. We can't have these bombs blocked off in their little holes because they'll create their own little zones without a slime. That's a problem for us. All of these, every single one, has to be open. Okay. And if every single one of these is filled, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And how many do we know has to be here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because one of these two sides has to get blocked off from the bomb hitting it. And to block off one bomb in each of these question mark rows takes 7. Therefore, we know this entire column here is filled. Which then reveals this for us. They have to connect like that, which then blocks off that. We now know that that's connected as such. Wow, okay. That feels like a big step forward, even if it's not. What does that tell us beyond what we just discussed? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So one of these is open. Why? Not sure. And I have no reason to know that at this time. Oh, here's something. Oh, actually, that's nothing. I lied. I was going to declare some sort of grand proclamation of truth, but I was just, unfortunately, rather mistaken. What else do we know? Hmm. We're close to putting blocks there and there, or one of these is open and a block's not there. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Hmm. Oh, we know that has to be open to connect it up to the rest of it, which then puts one, two, three, four, five, six. Ah, that's meaningful. That's a good little thing to know. That blocks off the rest of this because we have this row solved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, though there's blocks there, but we know that's open like that. That's blocked off like that. That's open. Which then goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which solves that entirely. Open, 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 open. Which then gets us close to solving this next part here. You don't have to be like that. You are blocked off like that. You go like that. Therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not quite. Almost. But okay, how about you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. You have to be like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's already a bunch down here, though. You need to be blocked off like that, which exposes this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Open, 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 open. You're fully blocked off. You need to be blocked off like that. You need to be exposed. 1, 2, 3. Like that. Blocked. You're blocked off entirely. Which then puts that. 1, 2. Okay, I'm seeing a pattern. No, not quite. Almost, almost, almost. You have to go there. You're blocked off. You have to go there. Blocked. You're exposed. You're all exposed. You're all blocked off. You have to go there. Blocked. And tremendous. Okay. Last puzzle. This one. Ugh. Well, shoot. Can z be 0 and the puzzle is still solvable? If z is 0, then let's say just arbitrarily x is 6. 6 plus 5, 11 plus 4, 15 plus 2. Yeah, z can be 0. No, wait, that's not true. 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 2 forces there to be 2 zeros. How about like 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2? I think there's probably something else we can solve before we jump into that realm of potential variable mathematics. Literally the only one this particular bomb can get is this monster. C is at most 1, maybe 0. Z has to be equal to at least 1 because of all these monsters in the middle here. Z has to get like this guy and that guy and that guy or something like that. I remember I got pretty far with this one before I had to throw in the towel because I just screwed up somewhere. So if z has to be at least 1, z can't be 2 though, because if we have z equals to 2, they have to get like this, for example, and that blocks off the x's and the y's entirely, which makes them both 0, which is not feasible. Well, if z has to be equal to 1, then c has to be equal to 0, because there's no way you can only get that guy. Therefore, blocked off like that, forcing a or b to get him. If z is equal to 1, then we can't have y get all of these guys, because that'd be equal to y and x are the same thing. Therefore, how about we try this? That seems about right. And then we have b or a get both of these guys. And then that makes distinct variables. Is something similarly feasible if we do like b gets them? If we do something like this, right? B would be 6, A would also be 6, gets one of them, 7. No, could we do something where like B gets these guys, 5 gets that, making them into A is 5, B is 4, Y is 3, X is 2, Z is 1. That is perfectly feasible. There is no reason to think that's not mathematically reasonable within the context of this particular problem. Okay, so let's look for other things that we for sure need to figure out while we're doing this. If z is equal to only 1, then we know both of those are blocked off. If we block off here, then z has to get that guy, and it ends up like that. Is that feasible? Yes, it is. There's no reason that mathematically it wouldn't be possible. If we block off here, z has to get that guy, you have to get that guy, you have to get that guy, which is also, it looks like, totally fine. What else do we know based on the bomb rules? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, one of them has to be here. Oh, here's something. If z gets that guy above, then all of those are filled, for example. If z doesn't get him, well, either way, this guy is handled. There's no worries at all about the slime being hit by z. The column dictates that's simply not possible. What that does mean, basically, the only question mark is whether or not this one is open or not. How about here? Just looking around now at all the possibilities here. Okay. There's no reasonable world where this guy gets blocked off because they're either equal to 1 or 0. C is already 0, Z is already 1. Therefore, that has to be open. Same exact thing is true here. This has to be open because otherwise if this is blocked off, it's equal to 1 or 0, which the variables can't be the same value. Therefore, that's also open. This blocks that off entirely, which causes... I'm not sure, but it'll cause something soon. That does feel important. Either way, one of these two is going to get this top guy. No matter where we put this block, one of these top two will get him. Therefore, this guy is going to get one of these two to the side. If we get him, any problems? No. If we get him, any problems? Less than a problem, actually. That's actually really nice for us. Okay, great. If this is blocked off, he's stuck in here. There's no way for this to be blocked off, because if we put a block there, then there has to be a block somewhere in here, and he ends up stuck in his own little world. The same thing is true for Y, therefore both of those have to be open. Y gets those groups. There's a block there. That's exposed. There's a block there. Therefore, one of these two is getting both of these monsters. So we end up with, for example, Z is equal to 1, A is equal to 2, Y3, B4, X 5. Has to be 5. We can't have Y equals 4. Oh no, could we? No, because then if these both get 1, then they're equal to the same thing, 3. Therefore, X has to be 5. Because if Y gets it, X and Y are both 4. Great. Yeah, okay. What's next? One, two, three, 4. Nice. That's all solved. We can't have this guy get him, because if we do, there's 2 blocks there. Not going to work. Therefore, that's a wall. You have to get him. You have to get him. You have to get him. What does that entail? I'm sure it tells us something. I just don't know quite what it is at this moment. Huh. 5, 3, 2, 2. No. No, no, no. No matter what, X is blocked off, like, on this side. And Y is potentially blocked. We're going to have this blocked off here. We can't have all of these be blocks. At least one opening here. That's not super helpful, just pointing it out for future reference. Is there any problem with either of those being the, No, I don't think so. Oh, you need to be blocked off there. Gotcha, so you're blocked off there. Just because bomb rule. Any other obvious bomb rules I've been ignoring thus far? I don't think so. I mean, Z has to have a wall somewhere in here to stop a collision here. Oh, that's interesting. Whichever one we choose to block off, the other one will have to be like that. That's probably a useful thing to look at. We could pretty feasibly end up locking our friend in this section here. I don't know. If we block that off, there's no issue. I'm on the right track? Yes, fewer than 3 that are donezo. Tremendous. Is there a problem with doing that? Yes, there is. We can't have both there. Oh, I should have recognized this. We can't have both there because then that requires that to be like that, which is absolutely no good. Therefore, there's a wall there, and one of these is a wall. What does that tell us about anything else? We can't have that. We just literally can't have both of those be blocked off because then how does this Y escape? There's going to be something up here, right? If we're going to have these two blocked off like that and that, then this one goes either here or here. What's wrong with it being here? Nothing really. What's wrong with it being there? Nothing. It actually makes our life substantially easier, I believe. Oh, this column is solved. How long has that been solved for? Oh man. I'll suck if I just been looking at that and missing it for the last like several years. That column is that column can't be solved. No, that can't be there because if that's there, that blocks off that, which then forces this. No, it has to be like that. Is that 3 plus wrong? Oh man, what I just screw up? Is that better? Yes, that's fixed. Yeah, that's blocked off. That's blocked off. So then we can't have those two be blocked off because then that'll block this off entire. Wait, no. That's actually perfect because then that opens that up, which is if that's blocked off, that's fine. That's totally okay. The blocking goes there. That has to be open to make sure things can escape. Hmm. And then what's left to finagle here? You're blocked there. You have to be open there. Blocked. No! No, you have to be open there. And you have to be open here. Oh no. Something is substantially wrong with my solution to the puzzle. Okay, let's get back to somewhere where I'm mostly correct. Something like this. Yeah, block, block, blocked. That all makes sense. Let's undo this. Let's approach it from this side instead. Wait, ugh. If we put that there, okay, you've been solved like that for a hot second. What's wrong with putting it there instead? Not instead, but fewer than 3 incorrect. Great. Hmm. What if I do that? No. Okay. Let's take a look at this column here because we're close to solving this one. We know, we just know that the 2 blocks for these have to go somewhere in here. One here, or one there, and one there. Either way, the rest of these columns are just completely empty, right? What does that tell us? We learned from this, you, and you all have to go there, which means you're open and you're not, which is wrong. Which is wrong. It has to be wrong. Or it doesn't have to be. If that's, oh, I see. If that's open, it doesn't have to be wrong. Because we can get around through there instead. Yes, that works. Is that, oh, huge. Huge, 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 huge. Oh, tremendous. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am very happy to be done with that little set of levels that was giving me so much trouble. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time where we'll begin row 9, nearing the end game now. Ciao.